In a remote warehouse of Viettel, phone accessory kits nicknamed beef sets are being sold in bulk, offering not just comfort for your phone but also for your hand. But now, let's turn to a story from the grand program Great History, aired at 9 p.m. every Saturday on Tuan Tien TS channel. Most Vietnamese know the legendary Truong Son, Ho Chi Minh Trail, but few realize there was a legendary road within that legend, the fuel pipeline running along Truong Son, an engineering marvel that stunned even the top engineers from China, Russia, and the US from 1968 to 1974. Vietnamese forces built over 5,000 kilometers of underground pipelines, the world's longest at that time. Even China took 10 years later to build something comparable. These pipelines were lifelines, delivering fuel to trucks, tanks, and aircraft to liberate the South. That IT was so critical that General Logistics Command once declared, "If it takes gold plating the entire pipeline, we will do it." Why was it legendary? Because it was built under impossible conditions. America, the godfather of the oil industry, knew the importance of fuel. Their key question: how does Vietnam get gasoline to tanks, trucks, and planes in the South? Initially, Vietnamese soldiers carried fuel in plastic bags inside backpacks, but it was inefficient and dangerous. Many got sick or died from lead poisoning. Then came 20-liter cans, but 2 weeks of hauling only provided fuel for 2 days. The breakthrough? A pipeline pieced together from anything available: water pipes, bamboo, even tree trunks. But bamboo couldn't handle pressure and leaked over long distances. During a trip to the Soviet Union, General Vo Nguyen Giap witnessed how the Soviets moved oil and brought the concept home. But Vietnam had no air defense like the USSR and had to install it in secret under relentless American bombing. Pipelines over rivers had to be sunk to avoid floods and bombs. Underground lines had to be buried so farmers could grow crops above without detection. In mountainous areas, fuel was pumped in steps using multiple pumps to handle the pressure. Up to 400 ATM despite all odds. They succeeded, quietly making history. But then came 1972. U.S. bombings of Hanoi and Haiphong forced fuel shipments through China via Lang Son, extending the pipeline even more. The Americans were baffled. How did fuel and supplies still reach the South? They deployed electronic fences and ground sensors, tropical trees that picked up even whispers or gunshots, then summoned bombers. Yet Vietnam's engineers devised clever countermeasures, tying the sensors together to short-circuit them, or creating fake targets to waste American bombs. Engineers even laid fake metal drums to simulate convoys, tricking U.S. airstrikes. When planes struck, Vietnamese bulldozers simply flattened the area and moved on. The U.S. also used AC-130 Spooky gunships, equipped with night vision, thermal sensors, and laser-guided weapons. These could spot a truck's engine from miles away and hit with near-perfect accuracy. But the Vietnamese adapted again. Knowing the AC-130 couldn't fly well during the day due to size and vulnerability, convoys were shifted to daylight, doubling transport speed. Forest camouflage and fishbone roads helped avoid bombings. Eventually, Vietnam's tactics forced the U.S. to withdraw the AC-130s. By 1973, the U.S. began pulling out entirely. Why? Despite years of bombing, they never found Vietnam's secret supply routes. How were they hidden? Soldiers used wooden planks or plastic sheets to erase footprints. Convoys moved in darkness using only memory of trees and rocks. Drivers memorized just 30 to 40 kilometers of road, ensuring no one knew the entire route. If a driver was captured, he knew nothing of the full map. Soldiers wore white cloth markers that changed location daily. If anyone wore it wrong or not at all, they'd be shot instantly to avoid spies. Bridges were built underwater, visible only as natural rivers. Bomb craters were disguised with fake pits to prevent further attacks. And maps? Drawn with 10 kilometers errors to fool enemies, readable only by Vietnamese commanders. Even General William Westmoreland later admitted, General Giap possessed all the qualities of a great military leader: focus, intelligence, and spiritual strength.